Morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Best Bankroll Challenge. And at day 65, we are currently in the midst of a downswing. About a week ago, we were at 10.5. We're down to 89.50, 89.50 right now. So it's basically been since Saturday. We're now Thursday. We're down about 200 on the poker draft. It's been relatively swingy. We're up, we're down, we're up. Then we've just kind of gone down, climbed out a bit, and then back in. So it's been relatively swingy. Only down 200 against players, but GG rate, right? Um, kind of getting annihilated there. And we'll just fold Jack 10 suited, Queen 4 suited, ISO, call, whatever. So yeah, but with rate, we're probably down, whatever it is, $1,300 or something, $1,400, because a bunch of that's 1-2. So plus what we've lost, we're around whatever 1,500 down over the last 5.5 days. I think we've been overcalling in spots, and then variance kind of just sort of kicking in, like post flop, missing hands, big pairs. The board just comes out like 4, 5, 6, or you got queens, the board comes out with an ace. So we're kind of just winning a lot of either small pots or, spots where we 3-bet and you put, 20 bigs in, but then you just can't do anything post flop. It's been kind of a cold deck. I think we've been running relatively clean when we do get it all in. We did a bit of a comeback over the last couple days, but we lost it all again last night. So yeah, but that's all part of it. It is as tilting as it can get, watching it happen over a few days. It's definitely just sort of part of the flow. So you kind of just got to go with it and try to keep a level head, try to not get tilted, which is definitely not easy. I'm certainly guilty of tilting and potentially playing poorer than I should. But that's kind of the biggest difference, is that when you are in these downswings, kind of keeping a level head. We're going to see what they do to a 10%. 10% always works great at NL50 and NL100 to sort of induce a spaz. We haven't been firing them too much, so maybe we'll start firing a few more. At NL200 try to create that. But yeah, overall, obviously the challenge is going very well. Excuse me. But for the last 5 days, yeah, we've just kind of been on a bit of a downward spiral. So hopefully pull out of that sooner than later. Fold 10-8, actually raise the 10-8. Raise the king-queen off at the 1-2. We're only here because of Watchy Eyes. Obviously, NBA Young Boy, I think, is a relatively decent reg. So we're not looking to get too crazy against him. Basically, we just want to flip here earlier. Tens versus king. The extra 3-bets, 10-8 off, which is full king 3 here. Even though it's small, we'll fold the ace-5 off. Pretty much anything suited we're going to be opening here at the bottom right. Fold the 9-8 to a raise and 3-bet. Anywho, yeah, it's been a bit of a tilting, whatever it's been, 5 days or so. And we are 3-betting ace king suited. I think we'll bet here. Okay, Quiet Dream calls. It's a pretty good turn card. I think we'll just blast here again and try to fold out like 7s and 8s and that kind of stuff. Okay, we take it down. Watch Eyes 3-bet's really small. I think we probably still fold the King 7 suited. Might be a call given how shitty and weak he is and spewy. But yeah, we definitely haven't been playing the best. I think, you know, a little bit too much autopilot. There it is. A little bit too much autopilot, a little bit too much of only thinking about what we have, not having full thought processes and stuff have factored into it. But again, we don't want to overthink it either. You know, we all right, let's just get ridiculous. If we do keep getting 3-bet here, we'll probably leave the table. I don't know. Once the aggression really like kicks up, we're only 3-handed at 1-2. Bankroll is getting to that teetering point of having to move down. So we're looking to be a little bit more, I think probably just bet here. Cautious with the roll, I guess you'd say. We are looking to play hands, obviously, with Baxter and Blizzy here, being 200 bigs deep. Okay, we take it down. Yeah, oops. What did I just do? Fold the 9-6. Yeah, it's muted. Okay. Back here. Okay, Ace King. Yeah, 3-betting it. Not folding to Watchy Eyes if he were to shove there. We will just let the 6-7 go to 3/4 pot bet. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, it's been a bit of a downswing. So hopefully, I know I'm sure most people enjoy actually seeing the downswings because it probably helps them a little more mentally, knowing that other people are going through it. Even guys like, you know, what was our win rate over the last 30 hands or 40,000 hands at NL50 was 20 bigs per 100 basically pre-rate, and like 12 at a 100. So even when you are beating the games, you know, pretty solidly, you're still going to go on these 3, 4, 5 buy-in downswings. And you know, even us, like we're at 1500. That's only playing a lot of NL 200. You know, so that's not a super heavy downswing. You know, at that stake. Luckily, when we did move up to NL 200, we went on a bit of a heater. So we ran the bank, like we said, we ran that bankroll up to 10-5. So that kind of gave us that opportunity to actually, I'm just going to bet again here, you know, keep playing with a bit of a downswing coming in instead of moving up, you know, because a lot of the time you hit 40 buy-ins or whatever and you move up stakes and then you lose like 2 or 3 buy-ins. You got to move back down and now you're grinding back like, you know, 12 buy-ins before taking another shot. So luckily we didn't have that happen to us. So basically, if we lose another 1,000, we'll basically be forced to move down to NL50 and NL100 instead of basically NL100, NL200. Tables are best. So hoping to avoid that. But again, it kind of is what it is. Just curious how much we've actually lost at NL200 compared to the rest of it over the last like 5 days or so. Actually, it's not that bad, but it's, you know. So we've lost 270 at NL200 over the last 5 days. I think we just value bet against these guys here. Yeah, what is in there? So yeah, 270. interesting lead out here. We definitely call. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we fold to the river barrel. Really small though. I just don't know what he'd be bluffing with. That's your calls. Let the turn hit. I think I have to call probably. Very strange play from him. Limit pot here we pick up. I don't even know what happened over here. I guess I just clicked buttons. But we'll take the win. But yeah, anyway, so 4,000 hands. We've actually lost 300. And then the amount of rake we would have paid would have been 2, 4, 6, 8. Probably about 700 in rake. So we've lost about, 1,000 to 1,100 of those losses are coming at NL 200. Just over 4,000 hands, right? And that's just essentially from, losing slightly and then all the rake you have to pay in. Mind you, half of that comes back, so it's not as bad as it sounds. So we've lost, out of the 1,500, about half of that's come from NL 200, and then I guess I would assume the rest is majority coming from NL 100. Check here. Yeah, and then we just lost, pretty much lost, the other 500 or 400 after rake back at NL 100. And at NL 50, let's see if we've won anything here. We've only played 1,000 NL 50 hands and actually won 150. It is actually extremely difficult to lose at NL 50 when you have a 20 big blind win rate. You still go on the 3 or 4 buy-in like swings here and there, but you just come out of it so fast. But the reason is like there's a million fish at NL 50. So it's like even when you do run into aces versus kings or whatever, ace king versus aces and stuff, there's just so many people putting in money with nothing that you just peel right out of it extremely fast. But essentially, yeah, we're losing at pretty much every stake for the last 5 days. And that's obviously just going to create a downswing. It could be worse, It definitely could be worse. Like we're essentially playing break-even poker, but I don't think we're playing horrendously bad. There's definitely some spots. Okay, we're going to check here with the flush draw, and this will be the last hand. Okay, he does go big. We'll just call. And if he blasts it, we'll probably just let this go. He's going to leave the table, like next hand for sure. So we'll just leave. Okay. Hershey blue. Anyways, we are still on track, right? Like for our goals. But we do need to kick the volume and then hopefully turn it around. But again, we're only there's only 3 tables running right now, so we're gonna have to be playing later in the day and probably do a little bit better at table selecting at NL 200. That's not something we've really been doing much of. It's table selecting. We've, probably got a little ahead of ourselves with how much we were felt like we were crushing everybody at NL 100 and NL 50. And then try to kind of do that at NL 200, and it, jump to 2-5. This guy's definitely a whale. Don Juan doesn't like to fold. It's kind of the issue of ISOing a whole bunch against him super wide, is that he's just really calling very wide. Okay. Does call. I think we just barrel one more time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll just barrel again on the river. And very curious why Ruby Jones has started raising so wide. I guess because the entire pool does not 3-bet enough. Jack 9 deuce in position super deep. I think he'll probably just play relatively straightforward and fit or fold at a position being 200 bigs deep. Once he checks back flop, we're definitely calling, and we're definitely folding on the ace. Bad check back by him. I guess the club's hit, but still. Deucey 3-bet small, definitely calling the sixes to that. And we will ISO the queen 9 suited. Who is Deucey? Where did he win? 150 maple, interesting. Yeah. And we'll just stab here. And we'll raise the ace 5 suited. Okay. Calls. We're probably just going to look for showdown now. I think stabbing there is fine, even without the spade. It's a very good river card. Quiet Dreams leads again, but when Don Juan calls, we can just let our hand go. I think we obviously have to call the sixes now, pretty much no matter what he does. But he, he's gonna have. I was gonna say he's gonna have like Queen X, Jack X, tens. King 10 probably bets, but like, with a spade a lot of the time once he does call flop, and if he folded flop, he's just or like the nuts, like ace king suited or something. But yeah, when he does check call, it's usually either like ace king spades or a pair with a spade of some kind in it, and then mostly everything else is going to just check fold. I think betting's fine, even small, because he's a fish. Like, you don't need to go very big. You just go small, and then because he's like safe. There's not too many hands that he'll just check call to a small bet and check fold to like a 70 or 50 or 60 or 70% bet. I think it's going to be pretty polarizing on that board, where he's going to call 60 or 70% no matter what. We will try to switch up our streaming time. Fold Jack 5. And we'll call the fours, fold 6-5. So Zumalia just calls. Okay, for Ruby Jones to keep barreling here, he's going to have like at least ace X or like a very strong draw for him to be betting into 3 people. Lily blasts. Okay. He's just been racking up the chips though, hasn't he? What did he win here? King 9 versus 4-5. It's just a nice little river. Free last, yeah, huge fish. Just gonna stick it in. Makes sense. Crazy that he just calls that though. I guess it's a small enough bet, maybe. It's a great spot to be in though, on this table. With that bet sizing, we'll probably just fold our hand some portion of the time. If he went small, we would just if he was going small, we would check raise more. Fisher definitely telegraphing with bet sizing, so especially three ways. If he were to just like bet small, he's betting small, hoping we all fold, just because he's the UTG opener and there's an ace on the flop. You give it over C betting. Oh, excuse me. Tired. Right, raise the king queen. I guess we just complete the queen nine off. We don't get three bet enough or ISO'd enough from Deucey. It's probably okay. Generally bad though. Okay, as we say that, it's nice 20% here. Well, under the gun with king queen off when we get three bet, they're gonna have a generally strong range, so I think we just let that go. Against on one, we're gonna call one here. It is slightly difficult sometimes when you're playing against the guys who open limp everything. Bit of a strange raise from Ducey. Could just be like attacking the fact that we're both probably very weak in that spot. It's definitely something else I've been doing too much lately. It's just like falling to hit, which is probably the most terrible thing you can fall into in poker, like on the button and small blind, just like calling to try to hit something. Wow, this is a really juicy 2-5 table. I feel like we should be sitting this. Like, it's just gonna be a bunch of like check folding. Or like shipping, check folding, shipping, that kind of thing. Because everybody's like super short stacked, right? So we'd like want to sit here. Definitely three bet the aces. We've actually been running extremely hot with aces, even though it doesn't feel like it over the last 2 days, but we've had aces like 90 times and been crushing it. Most of our losses have been with like ace queen suited, ace jack suited, ace 10 suited, jack queen suited, king jack suited. So I think, there's just been a lot of spots where we're three betting and missing, or three betting and catching draws and missing, calling, with draws and missing, that kind of stuff. It's kind of driven the bankroll down. Zumalia calls, I think. Probably don't need to go big on this board. Just go small, standard sizing. Okay, we spike a 7. I think on this board when he calls, there's almost no way he's folding turn, so it's probably best for us to just check and try to hit a 7, a 6, or a diamond. And then there'll be random times where he just has like, I don't know, ace 5 or something, called the gut shot, or like queen 8, that kind of stuff. But yeah, there you go. Ace 9. Okay, raise up the ace queen suited. It's all just short stacks. That's kind of the issue. It's just going to turn into like a 60-40 push fold game. But it's a fishy one, There's still money to be made. 60 bucks, 170. NBA Young will end up with all of this money at some point, or they leave. But if they all sit on the table with him, he'll just end up with all of it eventually. Which is the whole point of essentially of table selection, right? Like regs, you're just trading money. That's how it goes. Like unless it's a bad reg or you have an exploit on them and stuff, but like As much as we chirp like Ruby Jones for being super nitty, we're essentially trading money um, with him. It's so hard to get paid off, and then you win all these little pots because he's so tight. Then eventually you just get coolered or some shit. So it's difficult to turn a decent win rate against any reg really. So all of your money essentially comes from like fish or like really weak regs. Like if you're drastically better than them, which is why like when we play NL50, our win rate's 20 BBs per 100 because the regs there are just not as good. So you're turning a win rate that's relatively decent against the regs. And then you're beating all of the fish for like 50 BBs per 100 or something crazy, right? And then you're beating the regs for like 3. Um, Against the 3.5x open, I think we let that go. I do a lot of calling here, being how deep we are, but when it's like three-handed, there's just way more value in three betting here, but not getting crazy with it. Uh, just squeezing this off, and then if we get four bet, probably just like let it go, depending who does it, or just call. Like for Baxter to come over and four bet, it'd be pretty hard to think he's bluffing, or doing it with like tens or jacks, right? It's just not a thing. So he just has like aces or kings here. As nitty as this looks, it's just a fold, like almost always. Um, and he's just a little bit spewy. It could be maybe bad to fold some portion of the time, but I really don't think so. I think when you have such nitty players at a stake, um, they're just very rarely going to be four betting light. Okay, what happened over here? We raised all the flop he called. I would pick up more outs on the turn. We're just going to barrel again. But yeah, I like the three bet squeeze, and I do. As nitty as it seems, I think the fold is actually fine. He clicks it back on us. Probably get paid, you know. During time for this table is extended. Probably get paid if we bink, and we're getting pretty decent odds. It's like 3-1. Ball 16, 9 hits, king hits. We're so disguised that I think we just get paid so often. And then he checks to us, and I think I am just going to rip this, even though I'm probably going to get snapped off some portion of the time. I think fish, when they check raise turn with nutted hands, generally will just shove river. I think it's very rare that they're willing to like check call and hope that I bluff. Looks like he did this time though. But generally, they're just like giving up. Oh, I've lost a ton on this hand. Oh, I get to switch spots though, which is nice. At least we can get in position on the fish. But yeah, it's tough because the check raise on the turn is always so strong. Um, so maybe we possibly should have read into that more on the turn, but turn strength generally on the river. There's no the odds of a fish like a whale, a weaker player, being willing to check call the nuts is so low that it's for fool. That you know what I mean? Like they're just gonna rip it when they have it. Like the reality of him like me calling the turn and then him like check calling top two pair there seems kind of crazy most of the time, but I mean it worked in the end. I got two whales chirping each other for a second. It's funny. Crazy that that went all in pre-flop with fives and ace four. But I think we'll probably just end the stream here. I got to get going. I know it's a short one, but we want to keep the updates flying. Um, so kind of more of a video than a stream, but anywho, that's the update. We are break even today so far after that loss, I think, and down overall. Make sure you hit that sub button, and we are going to try to pull ourselves out of this downswing this week.